How's everything going? Today we're down here in the Onondaga Valley Cemetery. We are here, and in this cemetery we have Ephraim Webster. Ephraim Webster is the person who gave Syracuse its name. Prior to it being called Syracuse, New York, it was called Corinth. And another name that it had was South Salina. But as I'm out here walking around, I come across a headstone. I'm not sure if this person is related to the famous last name Hitchcock, but this seemed to have catch my eye. I'm going to walk around it real quick. So one of the reasons why I came here to Syracuse was initially to do an update of Ephraim Webster. But as I'm walking around looking for inspiration to do a video, I come across a mail order headstone that I had forgotten that Onondaga Valley Cemetery has several of these. And right here in front of us is the mail order headstone. We're going to go up there and we're going to read it. This headstone belongs to Edward Norris, born in Headcorn, ENG, May 1801, died October 29th, 1 day before Halloween, 2 days before Halloween. And he was 80 years. Now look right here how this is abbreviated. Now it's just W without the apostrophe RS. So Edward Norris was 80 years old and 5 months. On this side we see Robert Norris. Robert Norris was born April 8th, 1810, died March 22nd, 1899. And he was aged 89 years old. And on this side over here, which there's usually more than one person that has a calling on the mail order headstones. And where you see the nameplate right there, it is that exactly. You just mantle it from this here, right here, and right there, and right there. This side belongs to Mary A. Dunning, the wife of Robert Norris. She was born April 16th, 1814 until January 4th, 1904. And over here, we have more of the Norris name, and here is a wreath for this plate. These can be easily moved in and out. You just unscrew those and you put a new nameplate in there, and you can put anything you want in there. Like I said in some of my other videos, these headstones date back way before 1902, and when I was doing the information on mail order headstones, I really couldn't find a whole lot, and I know they've been around since maybe early 1800s, early to mid 1800s, and the only thing I did find was available was a Sears catalog who started printing up advertisements in their catalog in 1902. going all the way up to 1994, I believe, or 1993, when you were still able to mail order headstones. But as of right now, there really isn't a whole lot of information that I'm able to obtain. Here at this headstone, we have, this is a very similar looking headstone. It's the exact headstone that Ephraim Webster has, and he's over more in the front. He's in that direction right there. Right there. That building right there is their office and their tool shed and everything else. But here we have Nicaris Ansley, born March 8th, 1821, died July 10th, 1829. Phoebe Ansley, born September 3rd, 1822, died April 8th, 1835. And underneath them is their nameplate, and here is the father. Right here would be another family member that it's so corroded with living microorganisms and moss and stuff like that. And right behind that one is a family member called Andrew. And right next to Andrew is Rose. Rose may be a sister or an aunt. But here we have Rose M. Pomeroy, born July 12th, 1868, died December 11th, 1880. And underneath her, there's no more text to read. And behind her is Andrew Ansley, who is the headstone leaning up against this one. He was born August 12th, 1858, passed away May 17th, 1898. So he wasn't really all that old. He was a pretty young fella. And right here we come across the name King again. Here we have something that's pretty unreadable. So I'm going to go right here. We'll start with Bertha. This is Bertha L. King, born November 2nd, 1894 until February 10th, 1895. She was just past newborn stage, and right here would be possibly the parents of Miss Bertha King. Right here again you see a Freemason symbol. This is the matriarch and patriarch of the family. They're either laid out here or right behind them, which could be here. More than likely, see right here we have, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but also they were Freemasons as well. And right next to King, and I'm going to go ahead and say that was maybe the name Clark. But here is George Smith, died November 5th, 1867, aged 13 years and 11 months. Just barely a teenager. And here we have I'm not exactly sure, I can't really read that. But underneath the top name, this person passed away February 20th, 92. He was aged 17 years, 9 months. And below him would be a family member possibly. Frank E. died December 31st, 1905, aged 20 years, 6 months. Sons of N.P. E.L. Steen. And right here is Ellen Legg, born 1847 and passed away 1922. There's a lot of history being covered up here. If we could get somebody to come up here and maybe spray a little bit of D2 headstone cleaner, would be great. But that's usually a volunteer basis. And right here we have a little bit of vandalism going on. Like somebody literally came over and just pushed that right out of the way for some reason. And right here we have our friend. And because there's a lot of dry moss up here, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm gonna believe this as William Friend, born April 12th, 1883, passed away on the 10th of the month he did, April 10th, 1893. Born April 12th, 1883, passed away April 10th, 1896. Beneath him is Francis Morton, his wife, born May 30th, 1943. And as you see, there is no death year. Since the beginning of this video, it's turned out to be a really nice day. Alright, so listen, before we go any further, I am completely appreciative of everybody who watches my videos. And right now, my watch time is down just a little bit. So if you like my videos, watch 1 or watch 20, decide to sub, like and share. Let's check out this name right here. We have Henry D. and Celia C. Tada. Henry was born 1874 and passed away in 1938. Celia was born 1869 and passed away in 1933. And behind them we have Mary Eliza and William Henry Dada. Mary Eliza was born 1838, passed away in 1902. William Henry was born 1837 and passed away in 1914. You know, the more I walk around and the more that I'm taking in here, it seems to be a growing theme. Like if you look over here, everything in this section right here, in this section up here, and even in this right here, gorgeous headstone, gorgeous pieces of stone. But what really fails the idea of what's supposed to be right or wrong just looks really odd. There's a lot of moss on this one. This is the Andrews family plot. Right here we have Vivian Andrews, born 1868, passed away in 1959. And right next to Vivian, we have Elmer B. Andrews, born 1866 and passed away in 1936. And right next to Elmer is a marker. That is the H marker. And right next to Elmer and Vivian, we have John Hardin, 1847 until 1905. Right here is Hardin and the Andrews, where they connect. Here is Emma Hardin, born 1849 until 1930. And right behind her is Dorothy Hardin Hunt, 1927 until 1936. Hopefully you can see that. There's a lot of moss here, and it's kind of moist out because it just got done raining, but a lot of this right here is very sad. But we're gonna, here it looks like there's Keith M. Andrews, 1907 until 1986. Right here we have the Janes. Charles Francis Janes, 1847 until 1901. Pastor, Onondaga Valley and Church, 1882 until 1901. Miriam M. Laurie, Laury, his wife. She was born 1848 until 1938. And next to them is Charlotte Meade James. She was born 1874 until 1955. 1955. Oh yes, Back to the Future. Now, if you guys remember in Back to the Future, one of the dates that he went back to was the year 1955. And we have the Castallo family. Castallo. Alright, we're going to start here with the north. Here is the family head, or the family heads, the monarch of the family, and the patriarch of the family. This is the North family, buried right next to the other Norths. So here, first, we're going to do Charles A. North, 1880 until 1935. Viola North, 1880 until 1950. And right next to the markers of Charles and Viola, we have George Stephen North, 1805 until 1963. Here we have Brother George Castallo. We're going to pronounce it Castallo for the video. So we have the brother George Castallo, born 1891 and passed away in 1937. Right next to them is Julia Castallo, born 1879 and passed away in 1948. And right here we have the son of Henry and Ella, Albert L. Castallo. There you go again. He was born 1913 until 1991. Here's the sister, Laura Castallo Wright, born 1885 and passed away in 1950. And right next to Laura is her brother Theodore Castallo, born 1887 and passed away in 1970. And right next to them is the daughter of Henry and Ella. So the last 4 headstones belong to Henry and Ella, the parents of Theodore, Laura, and Albert. And their youngest daughter here probably is Ida M. Castallo, born 1911 until 1989. So maybe she's not the youngest. But right here is the mom. Here's the mom right here. She's got a lot of moss. She was born Ella I. Castallo, 1882 until 1925. So again we have Ella I. Castallo, born 1888 until 1925. And right next to Ella is the patriarch of the family, Henry A. Castallo, from 1883 until 1925. So this is the patriarch of the family, Henry C. Castallo, born 1883 until 1925. And the patriarch is buried in front of the children next to his wife, the matriarch Ella. And these are the family members. Here we have Sarah Wood, 1825 until 1906. And as I'm walking out of the cemetery here at Onondaga Valley Cemetery, just casually walking around, not looking at too much, I come across what I believe to be military footstones. And here we have Daisy Anderson, born 1894 until 1971. And right next to Daisy is P.E. Wilfred Anderson, 1889 and passed away in 1968. They had a child, P.E. Wilfred and Daisy, and their child is also buried here, who passed away in 1920. Next to them is Anthony S. Facile, 1930 until 2020. So he just recently passed away. So right here is probably one of the fresher burials. And right next to Anthony is Hildegard A. Stover, from 1946 until Paul E. Anderson, 1953 until 2014. And here we have an unmarked grave. I'm not really sure if anybody is in this grave right here, but right here is Robert H. Anderson, from 1912 until 1995. Anderson, 1908 until 1990. R. Searle, from 1908 until 1990. Beneath him is his wife, from 1910, Jane F. Anderson, and she passed away in 1991. And right behind R. Searle and wife, we have Edward Anderson, born 1860 until 1925. Right next to Edward, we have Nellie Anderson. Nellie Anderson was born in 1948 and she passed away in 1938. Nellie Anderson, born 1948 and passed away in 1938. Ellen R. Anderson, 1887 until 1970. Reinhold T. Anderson, 1886 until 1973. Helen H. Anderson, 1884 until 1966. Caroline A. Stover, from 1914 until 2009. Next to her is her husband, Charles A. Stover, from 1909 until 1969. And the last two headstones are unmarked. One of the first times I came here to the Onondaga Valley Cemetery, I stopped right here. My car was parked just on the other side of that little headstone right there in the road, and I got out and I was here filming my first, I guess you could say, like celebrity type entombment. It was for Ephraim Webster, who I've been mentioning throughout this video. And I stopped here, and to reiterate, I wanted to stop again and celebrate the lives of the Moon family. Here we have Lillian B. Moon. She is a mother, born 1866 until 1944. Next to Lillian is Albert. Albert was born 1858 until 1930. Here is the family marker. And right up here, we have some more family members. Here is Agnes M. Moon from 1895 until 1977. Married August 6th, 1914. She was married to Roy M. Moon. He was born 1891 until 1979. And next to Agnes and Roy, we have Roy A. Moon Jr., born 1919 until 1940. See, cleared it out a little bit better. That's 1919 till 1940. We are over in section 6. We're going to make our way down this hill. Right here is Bernard. Lawrence R. Bernard, 1903 until 1956. He is buried here with his wife, Ruth West, no relation, Mae West, from 1902 until 1988. So Ruth West was born from 1902 until 1988. Right here we have a U.S. military veteran. We have Arthur Hartk, New York, Sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps, World War I, February 9th, 1893 until February 5th, 1970. Alright, so as I'm heading down this pretty steep hill right now, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. As I keep looking down, you see, I just don't want to fall. So we're gonna be nice and smooth. There we go, we made it. Alright, so actually we really are at the end of this video. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. It is now time to tune out. And as I said earlier in the video, when you get a minute, check my channel out. I got everything from roadside relics to famous graves. If you're interested and you're a fan of Robert De Niro, check that grave video out. I did a video representing his family. Henry was his grandfather, and his grandmother are both buried in the same grave over on Grant Ave and Woodlawn Cemetery, in the same cemetery that Billy Fusillo is located in. And with all that being said, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. I'm actually going to tune out now.